Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Winter is Fun, a Winter House podcast. We've made it to season 2, episode 8, the finale before the finale.
I'm shooketh we're getting 9 episodes, but I've also been hearing rumors online that they were gonna do a reunion. Like, did you see Dumois?
No, what'd they say?
They said that somebody submitted that a cast member like threw a fit and convinced two other people to not do a reunion, so they had to scrap it. And so people think Craig is throwing a fit and has Austin and Paige not going.
My first thought when you said that was, is it correct?
Great. But I realized by the end of the season, he doesn't have as much like stuff going on. Like obviously he has like hate from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I feel like Austin might be the one throwing a fit now after this episode.
Who would Austin convince though? Everyone would be like,
Craig
no,
and
we
Paige
want you.
still.
No, I think Paige would be like, I'm gonna stand by Sierra, we're gonna call your ass out.
About okay.
Here's
For
my only
Austin's
thought.
reasons for not wanting to go.
And this is because of my tweets that I constantly grab.
Yeah.
Could it be Paige? Because she has gotten
Mm,
sufficient hate throughout the
yeah.
entire season.
Yeah,
Whether
that's
it's
true.
standing by Craig, which I understand to an extent, I kind of shit on her too, of like Paige call his ass out. Whether it's bullying Lindsay, like the
Yeah.
online hate has been really secure. Even though people are like, I love her one
Either
liners,
way, it's that trio.
it
They
could
could
it
convince each other. Each one could convince the other two.
I think Paige would convince Sierra then and be like, don't do it.
Oh, like it'd be Craig and Sierra not going.
Yes. And I
Interesting.
think Paige, because if you told me Austin's not going to show up, I'd be like, who the hell cares? Like as a Bravo producer, I'd be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if Paige isn't going to show up, I'd be like,
Paige
fuck,
and
we're
Craig. Like that
Paige
is,
and Craig.
yeah. Even if
But
you don't think like their relationship is special, that's a huge unit from the show.
yeah, although I do want to say this because I thought about this week. Everyone's always like, oh, the favorite Bravo crossover couple, Paige and Craig, we love them. I'm gonna fight Luke and Ashley Darby from fucking Potomac. That is
Okay,
it.
but the time frame is also starting to be different. Like it's not like they were all both happening at the same time.
I know, but I am dropping Paige and Craig so damn fast for Luke and
I
Ashley. Ashley
Here's my
is
thing.
queen. Ashley could eat Paige alive.
It can't be a
We're ruining her.
self-proclaimed title. The minute you self-proclaim it, you don't have
You
it.
lose. You
Yes.
lose. No,
God.
the ultimate crossover
It's
because
like
this
saying I'm the number one guy in the group. Like you can't
you
just
lose.
claim it.
No, I think why it's superior is because a lot of the times the housewives are on a different level than all these other shows
Yes.
because they are the housewives.
That's why whenever I DM'd you about Ashley Darby and Luke on
Amazing.
their Instagram recently, I was like, this is weird to me because we never really have a housewives crossover.
Never.
We have like the non-housewives
No.
co-mingling with all these people, and I'm used to
Yes.
that. This is
And
different,
they're
and I feel
almost
weird until this becomes normal.
they're almost on like a lower level of like it's the housewives and
Yes.
everyone else.
Yes.
The fact that Ashley Darby, who has been a Potomac housewife since season 1 and she is a fan favorite, top dog, we fucking love her, is dating Luke, like the most, no offense, kind of boring dude on
Yeah.
this show.
But
Holy
I bet he's one of the
shit.
people that like
Holy shit.
TV versus real life is so different.
Oh, I'm sure. No, I think he's the kind
Yeah.
soul he
But
probably is.
it's so
He's
funny
boring on
because
reality.
yeah,
So good.
I
Anyway.
love that Lindsay and Carl are like with him through it all. They're like, yeah, let's all double
They're
date this
double
our whole life.
dating. If I saw this foursome out on the streets of New York, I could see 2, even 3 of them and not have a visceral reaction. I would literally throw up, pee my pants, cry all at once, and just be like, please take a picture with me. This is amazing.
With Ashley and Luke.
And Lindsay
Carl
and
and
Carl.
yeah.
But I'd rather see Ashley and Luke out on the streets in a second, in a
Let's
goddamn
make it
second.
happen for Alicia.
If I met Ashley Darby, I have so many questions. I love her. Okay, anyway, back to this isn't a Potomac podcast. Anyway, so check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, and we have One Season Wonders, which will be coming back at some point. So everyone fucking be ready for that. We're gonna
In
do Lindsay
February.
Lohan. So
One season wonders. I was thinking about the other two. I'm like, we got the other ones
the
in
other two,
February, and I forget when our next. Yeah. Well,
horrible.
if you joined the Patreon, you'll get it sooner.
You'll get it immediately. So we'll get there. But okay, so please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. We have one new review. It is 1 star. I'm gonna
Wah,
fight this
wah.
one. You already know I don't
I
care about
know.
the haters.
Read it and we'll discuss.
So it's titled Concerning from Kira's Mom 74. And she says, it's not okay that you hate on Jess, but give Kory a pass when he is openly admitting that he's manipulating women to get sex and laughing about it. Jason and Lindsay filmed an entire scene about the miscarriage for Summer House. So why did Jason blame it being cut on Lindsay? He just wanted the press to make Lindsay look bad. Yet you fully took his side. Your internal misogyny is showing. Please work on that. All right. Let's start with Jess and Kory.
I would rather start, I think, with Lindsay and Jason, because I feel like that one's a slightly cleaner.
Oh, okay. Fucking whatever. So
first thing I want to say is that the stuff like we have now learned about Lindsay and Jason all came out after we recorded.
yes.
So like that's not fair to hold us to that, is all I'm gonna say. We recorded these pretty early.
Yeah, we had no idea. Listen, first, we don't claim to be Bravo experts. We claim to know more about Bravo than the normal human should, but we don't actually fucking,
because we watch so much and rewatch and remember.
yes.
Like, yeah,
I am not scouring Reddit or the blogs to like, if it pops up, I will look into it. I'm not searching for it. So I didn't know that Jason and Lindsay talked about it on Summer House. It was never known. It was cut. And I don't think Jason was blaming Lindsay for it being cut. I think now that I know what I know, I think the producer said like, hey, you should have a conversation with Lindsay. And Jason did that thing because Jason's not a reality dude. He's getting paid very minimal to be here. He's just trying to get his check, I think, and do what he can. He's like, whatever. So he has this conversation. And I don't think he approached it with any malice.
I agree.
I understand Lindsay now,
especially with his interview, the way he said it is like, I'm happy I got this off my chest. Like, and that's all I wanted to defend was like, Jason having time to speak to Lindsay about it, especially on camera, because we didn't get it on Summer House. And so like, as a viewer, I can only react to what I've actually seen.
Yeah, we're not.
So to me, that was the first time they've talked about it. But to them, that's not. I wanted Lindsay to like hold Jason's feelings a little bit more delicately.
Yes, I think because it got cut, we never got Lindsay going, I acknowledge these feelings. She might have. Exactly. She very well, and she should have maybe said like, we already talked about this. So she
did a great podcast. Yeah. That I listened to a portion of it like on Instagram that she reposted. And that was, I think I sent that to you and I was like, I'm so happy to hear this. Like, that's awesome. That's what I wanted.
And I think last episode or somewhere, I definitely posted on Instagram and I was like, what the hell, Bravo producers? Because I blame them. Yeah. I think they cut Lindsay to make this look shitty because she didn't say like,
and they did her dirty twice. They did her dirty with Summer House and then not pulling that into Winter House. Like they should have, if they couldn't make it air in Summer House because it just didn't make sense. Because I think that conversation probably happened Lindsay's birthday and that a lot was going on. So I see how it was cut. But I wish they would have pulled it into Winter House
to show that this did happen.
There's more context to it.
Yes. So I don't take responsibility for that because
I don't think Lindsay needs to bend over backwards for Jason in the press by any means. But I'm just happy Jason had a conversation with her and we got to see his side of it. That's what I'm rooting for.
I was glad. And I think, like I said, I blame fully Bravo producers. I think they did Lindsay super.
I think sometimes we get caught up in reacting to an edit in a show and also like removing it from who these people actually are at the end of the day. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I watch these shows and I don't really take them that seriously. No, so, like I'm reacting to what I'm seeing and the person I'm seeing on the show, but I fully know that is not the same person that they legitimately are at the end of the day. And that's what we're doing. We're not being like, we must look into all these people and like get their personalities. No, we're like guessing from what we're seeing and being like, we didn't like that, we did like that, but we know it's edited. We know these people are different. We know like we don't take this that and I'm seriously. Happy what has come out after the fact. Like I like seeing everything that Lindsay does have to say because she doesn't have control of an edit. That this last week has been awesome to see the press Lindsay has done to combat what the editors have done to her. Also, I don't think Kira's mom's listening that much because I'm a big Lindsay sympathizer. And listen, I have gotten shit for it in the past. I'm a big Lindsay person. We have disagreements about it because I have put my neck out on the line for Lindsay. So my internal misogyny. Go listen to all the Summer House episodes. Go back. I feel like especially last season. I was defending her to no end. Okay. So Jess and Kory, I don't give a shit about either of them, to be clear. So I dislike them for different reasons. So like, I don't think that it's comparable, my dislike for Jess, because I don't like how she can't be confrontational with her feelings, but she can talk about it to the rest of the house. Whereas my like for Kory is definitely misogynistic. Totally understand that. It's a character to me, and I'm enjoying watching it. And it's so shitty, but like I'm enjoying it, and I'm
I
just being
don't
honest
think
about it.
I
And I
don't
don't think
think
other people are.
I was gonna say I don't think maybe you would be like, oh, Kory's a great person on the outside because you're like, I just want to watch him like crash and burn this house to the ground and see what
I
happens.
love a good interview. I talk about that all the time. Like, it's one of the reasons I really like Paige. And Kory
Right.
is giving me the interviews and the like, he's talking me through his approaches in the house so incredibly well. Like, I feel like I'm with him on this
Yes.
journey, and I just enjoy the story that is being told around him and that he's partaking in. And like,
Yeah.
it's a shitty story in life, but like, I enjoy watching it, and I'm just
I do
honest
think
about it.
I do think we talked about this. I think Meredith said she liked watching Kory. I said I truly don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I want to be clear. My hate on Jess is purely because of the way she interacts with the women.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about this
hope
episode about that.
honestly, I hope her and Kory fight because I don't think I'd root for either of them. I think I'd sit there and be like, they're both idiots.
I don't care what happens in their
I
relationship.
truly
I'm
don't
going to
care
give a
about
lot of
either of them.
opinions about it this
Yes.
episode, but like, I was thinking when the episode ended, if they're dating, would have no idea because I do not look at either of their accounts, nor would it really affect my life because they're not,
No.
I know they're not on Summer House.
I love
So,
like whether or not it works out, the two of us don't give a shit. They could
like,
be truly in
and
love,
not in a
don't
mean
care.
way. Like,
No,
there is just it's an
they can mean
apathetic
nothing.
response.
They can mean nothing. But I do think on the outside, right? Also, just looking at them as people, Kory, he has this gym. I'm very interested in that storyline. I want to learn more.
That's why I like him. He's giving me a full character on the
There's
show.
a person.
No one, I have not seen a first seasoner come in and like be so natural as him in a long time.
Yeah, he's very natural. He says his whole story. Jess is in the metaverse and I don't understand it, so I couldn't have a conversation about
I
her.
want to I wish they would bleep out the word metaverse anytime it's talked about.
I need her to actually though sit down in her interview, stop talking about Kory, and tell me what the fuck she does.
I would be so interested if she would talk about that. If she would actually
I just need
explain
to
it.
know.
You know how like Rachel talks about like going to the flower shop at 6 a.m. and like why she wakes up so early and like that's you're learning about her like life and normal. I don't know anything about Jess really in normal outside of some buzzwords. That's what I'm like sad about.
Well, whatever. So thanks for your review, Kira's mom, but
whatever. I appreciate the checking on the misogyny because you're right about the Kory sitch. I'm just gonna be honest that I do enjoy watching it. Sorry.
Whatever. We're not for everyone. So going off of that, if we are for you, follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta and join our patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our pre-shows where Meredith and I talk about whatever the hell we want. Probably won't like that, Kira's mom, but if you want, you can do that.
We talked about the gym, so it's right up my fan of Kory.
We gotta call Kory more. Also, you'll get access to any episodes we record early. Sometimes it's a few hours before we release it to the public. Sometimes it's months and months. So, just go on there, see what we have. Tons of episodes, though. If you really want to dive deep, it's there.
It's a whole catalog, a whole library at this rate.
Yeah. All we do is record. So it's all on there.
She's not wrong.
Okay. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after shows that we do when we go back and we watch old seasons of shows. So we can keep up on any Bravo news and whatnot, and we can just tell you our opinions. And it's an excuse to talk longer.
Exactly.
And then also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Jamie, Casey, Kimberly, Chris, Sarah, Cameron, Tiffany, Tonette, Tracy, Courtney, Gina, Jennifer, Kirsten, Kelsey D, Kelsey M, and Mariah. I got a little tripped up there, but I did it.
There's a lot of people on the Patreon. I was on there last week and I was shook. I'm on there every week, obviously, but I was on there just to look at where we're at and like the
it's kind of crazy
crew we have. It's so fun.
Super crazy. Okay, and then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to give us, I guess not access, but whatever. You get to give us your thoughts, questions, concerns during the live seasons, and we will read them on the podcast. listen, it's coming. We got this, but we're about to do probably 85
This is the
episodes of Vanderpump
appetizer.
Rules. Vanderpump Rules will go on at least 7 months. We all
Oh
know.
God, please
sadly.
don't remind me.
And then Summer House has started going at least like 4 months, so 4 to 5. So we'll be there a while. And
lots of thoughts you can
overlap.
throw at us.
They're
Twice
gonna-
a week, we will be
overlap.
recording.
Oh man, our winters suck. So that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, also, we'll pick a patron of the episode. Okay, I wrote down who I have picked, and
Alicia.
I know, look out. Because I did pick Chris My Grits twice, but she did write us a 5-star review, so I think that's valid.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this week, I'm gonna pick, I think I'm gonna have to pick Kimberly.
Woohoo.
Kimberly has been with us for a while. We love that she's a part of this. I think I picked her for like when we did an old season watch back, because I remember talking about how I love to see her picture, because I have an avatar. But I love to see people's pictures to be like, is this what they look like?
And I post from Alicia's account, so I don't
So
even
it's all
have
me.
my own.
Usually we sign, but if I'm chatting, it's me.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kimberly, thank you so much for being a part of the Patreon. We appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so a few thoughts from Tonette from last week's episode. She says, I too didn't like how Lindsay handled Jason. Tonette, we did talk about this, but we're going to talk about it again.
Yep.
It took her a bit to say, I'm sorry, or acknowledge his feelings. Instead, she made herself the focus and played, wow, woe is me. I agree, but again, they had this conversation.
There's a lot more context we have now,
yes.
But still, I still stand by it. I think that conversation was for Jason to get things off his chest. Publicly. And she wasn't receptive until for early bit of the conversation.
Had Summer House aired by now in your timeline?
I would love to see. I still want to see that footage.
But did Summer House air? Because then Lindsay would know it was
just
cut.
Started airing.
Oh, so Lindsay didn't even know it was cut.
Yes.
Oh, this makes so much more sense now.
Yes. Yeah, it's like they filmed it. So Lindsay probably was like, we already just did this 6 months ago. Why are we doing this again?
Bravo producers pulled Jason. They're like, we cut the scene. We're going to need you to redo it. We'll let Lindsay know. And they don't. And they just send her in there to look like an ass. Horrible. Okay.
That's probably why they did cut it, because they knew then the Summer House version was coming.
Yeah. Hilarious. Okay.
Or the Winter House, I mean.
The Winter House one. So Tonette also says, when Alicia was saying Kyle's not being a good friend, all I could think about was friends should be good. Kyle, not good.
I mean, it kept going this episode where they're like, oh, everybody, Carl doesn't know. I have to tell him. And I'm like, yeah, everybody just sits there.
Okay, I gotta say though, in this episode, Carl is super hot because of how secure he is. This dude is so
I can't wait to talk about this.
Okay, so previously on Winter House, Austin is checking out Sierra, but he's in a relationship kind of with Olivia, but Olivia's not allowed to come to the Winter House, whatever. Jess is in love with Kory, but is self-sabotaging, and Kory wants to take things a little slower. Jason and Rachel are a cute slow burn. Lindsay and Jason talked about the miscarriage. Lindsay and Carl started hanging out at the beginning of October, but everyone's questioning the timeline because on September 25th, which was Kyle and Amanda's wedding, she supposedly slept next to Austin and touched his dick with her hand and that whatever. So everyone's up in arms about this, and Austin talked to Lindsay, but he didn't bring up the dick stuff, and now everyone's like, what about Carl though? What about the dick? So
I have realized we have been talking about this for at least three episodes, and I still don't care about this timeline. This makes me feel how we all felt with the Kathy stuff in Beverly Hills. Like, I don't care as
who cares about the conga line?
Who cares? Don't care. Move on, people.
The thing is, if it doesn't add up to the viewers, we're not going to care. And it adds up to, there must be something we're missing, because it adds up to everyone in it, but not to us.
They care so much that this episode, I really was like, you guys are really forcing that they said that they were dating at the wedding. And I'm like, it's not mathing to me, because they didn't say that.
It's not mathing. Here, do you know what this is like? you know, when you're in like junior high and you're like, Mom, like so and so's mad at me because I didn't do this, and your mom's like, it's not gonna matter. It doesn't matter. That's me. That's us, all the viewers to these people. It's like it doesn't matter, you guys. Like
Yeah.
in 10 minutes, we're all gonna forget about this, and like literally
But to
nothing will
them,
change.
it's like
The
everything
end of the times.
because they're in
Okay.
their little house trapped there.
It's so funny. Okay, so it's Tuesday, 10:01 p.m. We're still at this bar. Amanda, Paige, Sierra, and I think Jess are all like in one corner, and then you got like the boys talking, doesn't matter. But Amanda's saying to be in a happy relationship, you need to know the whole truth, and Carl doesn't know the whole truth, so they're not in a happy relationship. But meanwhile, Carl, Lindsay, and Luke look fucking happy. They're the happiest ones at this bar.
Yeah, I don't like it's insane to me the like way they talk about it. Like Carl is like some damsel in distress, like trapped to a railroad, and Lindsay's just gonna run right over him.
The most crazy thing to me is it's like Amanda who's been cheated on how many times. It's like
Yes.
you can't be in a happy
And
relationship if there's a cheater. And I'm
we
like,
started the
ma'am.
episode with Paige saying like I could never be with Craig if he like grabbed somebody's vagina, and then the night we started dating, and I was like, yeah, I agree with that, but
The
again,
night you started dating, but
they
yet you were
didn't start
talking to Craig
dating.
and making out with Andrea. We saw it. It was
Yes,
like
and
very there.
that's where Lindsay and Carl were. Like
It was just
where
like we are gonna see if this can work. Great.
yes.
Bye. Okay, we'll get there. Okay, so Rachel and Jason are cuddling at the bar and kissing, and honestly, I wish I could have just watched them do that.
I
Then
know I was
this,
so sad when she like walked
we
away
just
for the
cut.
shot. I was
I
like,
know.
don't take that shot. Sit with Jason.
So the girls talk again. Amanda's like, should I tell Lindsay? Like, should I be a good friend? So then we cut to the boys, and Kyle's talking to Austin while Craig is like not
I
really
am
paying
happy
attention.
Amanda wanted to go to Lindsay instead of going to
Yes,
Carl, because I think that is the route people need to take.
I think so too. And then what Lindsay wants to do with that
Yeah.
is you guys got to step out. But okay, so Kyle's talking to Austin and is like, you got to tell Carl the whole truth. And I'm like, why don't you tell Carl? Also,
Yeah.
Austin doesn't owe Carl anything. They're not friends.
Austin owes Lindsay the conversation, but yeah, not Carl really.
Kyle owes Carl this conversation.
Yes. Yeah, because you've been touting how he's your officiant and you're so close to him.
And then Bravo cuts to Lindsay and Carl having such a fun time, which
with
is
Luke.
honest.
They're like, I love you to each other. And then they're like, we love you, Luke.
So Amanda does pull Lindsay aside. Amanda on her way there is like, I think I'm going to throw up. Which, yeah, girl, you're about to accuse Lindsay of something.
They waited 3 days to have this conversation. They like made this like a big bubble that then was going to burst. It did not need to ever get here.
Amanda sits down with Lindsay and goes, so we've been talking about this for 3 days about what a shit person you are. So now I'm going to have the respect to come to you and tell you to your face. And it's like, girl, you should come to her immediately.
Again, how Lindsay just knows. She's been in this game for a long time, and she sits down and she goes, what rumors going around now?
I love it. Yeah. So Amanda does sit down. She's like, we're talking about you and we're going to let you know. Like you said, Lindsay's unfazed, doesn't give a fuck. And Amanda's like, well, I know that like someone told you about like sleeping next to Austin, but that's not what Austin said. And like Austin's truth is that you touched his dick and he had to like push you off of him. And Lindsay's like, I didn't do that. And also didn't text him to say don't tell first, anyone.
Amanda didn't say that Austin said it. And Lindsay's like, what's the rumor? And Amanda goes, it's not a rumor because it came straight from Austin, which I agree. Like, if you think the party that was involved is telling you something, I wouldn't classify that as a rumor. I'd be like, here is what Austin is saying about you.
Yeah, his truth or whatever.
His version. And we're trying to clarify things here. But yeah. Amanda is so aggressive. And Lindsay's like, listen, you're talking to me very aggressively right now, like accusing her of doing it rather than letting her in on the gossip about her.
But also, what is this text now that she's like, you texted Austin to say don't tell anyone?
What?
Lindsay's like,
that
made
no sense. After Lindsay talked to Amanda here, I was like, I don't believe any of this.
No. So then Lindsay's like, I never did it. And Amanda's like, but that's not what Austin said. And Lindsay's like, okay, so what's the problem? How are we gonna move on handling here?
This? I was shocked. And it is such a difference between drinking and not drinking. Like,
yes,
if everybody was drinking, this would become so explosive.
Agreed. Amanda's kind of trying because she is a little
Yes.
aggressive, and Lindsay's
She is like digging and like not basically keeps saying to Lindsay, like, you're lying without saying you're lying.
But then when she's called out, Amanda's like, I didn't mean to come like all aggressive, but
You
like,
did.
no.
It's fine. It's
I
fine
just
for
wanted
the
to tell
drama of the
you.
show, but like you did.
Yeah. And Lindsay's basically like, okay, Austin flying. I didn't do it. And Amanda's like, well, here's the timeline.
Oh
And
my
she
God.
presents
When
this
she
timeline.
said
But
timeline.
But I took so many notes. Okay, so we see them hug or whatever.
Yes.
We see Kyle go, what's happening
going
over
on?
here? But
Yeah.
we don't get any footage of anyone saying we're dating or whatever. Then we get Everett talking to Sierra and Paige that Carl and Lindsay talked to him about each other just last night. And Sierra and Paige are like, oh my God, how crazy. Which I would also be like, how crazy they're talking about each other. Like, fun. And then Maya talked to Paige and Sierra and said, word on the street is that Lindsay and Carl are going to give their relationship another shot. Nowhere in there was it they're officially dating.
Yes.
Boyfriend,
it became
girlfriend.
This telephone game of like, oh my God, something's going to happen, to now in their mind, it's happening.
Yeah. There was also no like Lindsay and Carl said any of this shit.
Yes.
Like no footage.
That's where I'm like, I understand, but I really appreciate the Bravo editors giving us these flashbacks, because it's, in my opinion, proving that this timeline conversation isn't a thing.
So then even if Lindsay did touch Austin's dick with her McDonald's, who cares? Like, I'm like, who fucking cares at this point?
I think it would be a good, respectful thing if it did happen, which I don't think it did, but if it did happen, and Lindsay, like, I think it is a respect thing to tell Carl that happened. Like, hey, right before we gave our relationship a go and we really actually started on October 10th, whatever date they say.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, me and Austin, you know, a little something happened.
I got a
you know,
like
we slept in the bed. Yeah. But that's just like, because you want to start a relationship on the best foot. And like they're adults. And Lindsay basically did that with what happened.
We will get there because I have thoughts. But yeah, whatever. Lindsay's basically like, okay, bye, and walks away. Which is awesome.
I like how she was like, I had a bottle of red in one hand and
McDonald's
fries in the other, and I don't have a third hand.
It's so funny. So then we cut to Jess. She's talking about Kory with the girls, and she's like, is Kory actually attractive, or am I blinded? And Paige is like, no, he's actually attractive. Because then Jess is like, if I wanted like normal attractive, I would go for Luke. To which I'm like,
I was like, do not mention his name because I'm annoyed with you.
We all know that Luke's the hottest in the house, even the people that deny him.
But don't say you would have gone for Luke, because you kind of,
it's all personality.
I don't want to dig it back up.
I think Luke's personality is probably not as fun as Kory's.
It's not for me. His personality, no. I couldn't date. I don't think I could date Kory either, but
different. They're all different.
I can't date anyone. Let's just be really honest here.
It's the problem's us. So the girls tell Jess, though, don't pigeonhole yourself with one man. Like, we're in this weird environment. Like, don't think that you're getting married.
Yeah, like, don't romanticize this. It is so easy, I think, to be like, oh my God, this is everything, because you are just like locked down in a house with this great man that you really like.
There's no outside world. There's no one else that we're talking to that. Yeah, there's no one else we're going to talk to in a different.
You can't really compare him, because what are you going to do? Compare him to the other guys in the house? Like,
they're all taken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Amanda then says Jess is Lindsay Hubbard hot, and Paige says that's so rude. This is where that. Like, Paige can be called a mean girl. She's not necessarily mean to your face, but she is a bitch behind your back.
The other times they've said it, it was kind of like teed up, because everybody else who came into the house was like, you look like Lindsay, and they were like laughing about it, and it was a lot more casual. Kind of funny. Yeah. This was such a direct dig. And again, we've talked about how hot Lindsay is.
I was gonna say, am I missing something? Is she fugly? And I just think she's fucking gorgeous.
I think that they take her age as a diss,
which is so rude. That's misogyny.
I hate to say that she looks good for her age, because I don't even notice her age. I only know her age because of watching this show so much, and it is brought up so much.
She looks good for our age. She looks good for every age. She's hot.
If I could be in her body, if anybody in that cast, if I could be in their body, it'd be Lindsay's.
Yeah.
Because like she is like toned.
And she got better. Like I take her now as what she looks like
I would
as
even
a
take her
33.
season 1.
No.
Like she was incredible. And then
She
got her boob job. Not that you have to have a
amazing.
boob job to like look better, but just saying all the things she's changed in her life.
It only
She
got
got a
better.
boob job. I love how she is constantly changing her hair from long to short. I appreciate
Great.
her shorter hair better. I'm gonna be
I
honest
do
about
like her
that.
short hair.
And then she is so ripped and toned. And I love that her and Carl like bond over the gym.
They go to Barry's.
Yeah.
They go to Barry's, you guys.
For me,
Okay.
I could stomach the like slight digs because like the
Who
way
cares?
they were
They're
set up were a
jealous.
little bit
Yeah,
more like
whatever.
bantering. You know, you like make fun of you like your friends and you're just like,
Yeah.
they're like digs, but you're just like cracking jokes at each other.
I
It
even
felt
think-
more like that earlier, but this is like they're really trying hard to dig at her.
Yeah, I'd even take Amanda's comment as that insulting because she's like, "You're Lindsay Hubbard hot." Ha.
But
like,
then when
you
somebody
look like
says
her,
that's like,
so rude.
yes,
That's a little much. Whatever. So we're back at Kory though, because Jess thinks that Paige is projecting because Jess knows that her and Kory like each other and they're gonna date after. And Paige is just jealous
Did
that
you
what her
read
and
it as
Craig are
that?
gonna break up.
I didn't read it as like Paige was digging. I was like,
No.
that sounded girl advice. That's what girls
Yeah.
say to each other. Like, don't show all your cards. Like, don't give it all up. Like, even if you do like him and have those feelings, like Paige wasn't telling her don't have those feelings. She was just saying, like, hold
Play
some of
that
this stuff
field.
closer to your chest. It's
Play a
been
little
2
field.
weeks. It's a
Also,
game. Dating is a
yes.
game, and people who say it's not are crazy.
Also, ma'am, it has been 6 days, and Paige is in a long-term relationship with a man who's obsessed with her and cannot do better.
Yeah,
so she's fine. She's not projecting. Also,
and she knows Kory. Yes,
Thank you.
that's what
Thank
I really
you.
took it as, is she knows him and
player.
probably he's people he's dated, and like she was just in your situation this summer. Like she was kind of dating around, but she wanted to lock down Craig, and so she has been in this moment. And the more Jess says like, I want to be with you, da 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 da, she's actually going to drive Kory away, and we see it the rest of this episode. Like she really wants him next to her, but he doesn't always want to be next to her.
It's horrible. Okay, so we leave this conversation. Craig's bringing up to Austin to talk about the dick thing. The bartender gets everyone some shots so everyone can get drunk. Jess is all over Kory. And then Lindsay, badass, walks right over to Austin. He's talking to
This
Luke.
is what I wanted.
So Luke and Austin are staying at the bar. Lindsay walks right over and is like, "Hey, I heard I touched your dick at the wedding. What happened there? Don't remember that." And Austin's like, "I didn't say that. I said you made an advance towards it."
Knew he would backpedal the minute he was like fully confronted.
Roll the footage.
Because that's not what he said.
So then Luke is like, "Okay, Lindsay, did you try and grab his dick?" Like,
I like Luke mediating this. The amount of times he said the word dick.
Let me know. And Lindsay's just like in the middle of me eating McDonald's.
Like, no.
I gotta say, dicks or McDonald's. I'm taking
Don's. McDonald's.
I'm going with Don's. So Lindsay, though, she admits that she was touchy-feely. And Austin says that, like, in his interview, Austin's like, "Oh, Lindsay normally owns things and now she's not. So she must be lying."
I think she would own this.
I think Austin has it messed up because he's like, because she's not owning it means she's lying. And I was like, no, I think because she's not owning it means it did not happen. I don't think
she always advertises.
But
like,
she's
think about the Austin stuff in the summer. Like when it actually was talked about and confronted about, like Lindsay laid it all out.
Yeah, I don't know. So then I think Austin's losing his mind.
He's backpedaling. He made something. What probably happened is, this is what I think happened is, a hand was on like the thigh. She was touchy-feely, and Austin's like, "Oh, she's coming on to me. Like, I gotta stop this." And so he probably like scooted away from her so she wasn't like in reach. And that became Austin telling people she wanted to fuck him. And then he needed to like really back it up, but a hand on the thigh isn't a smoking gun. So he had to say she touched his dick.
Yeah, because then Carl comes over and Lindsay obviously fills him in, and Carl's just like, "God damn, I gotta deal with this." And then she's like, someone was like, "Did you touch?" Oh, Luke goes, "Did you touch his leg?" And then his leg like magically turned into a dick. And everyone laughs because it's like so fucking stupid.
ridiculous.
But that's exactly what happened. Because even Luke is like, a leg and a dick are a little different. And she's like, and then he goes, maybe she couldn't find it. That's why she touched your leg.
And
Which was
Austin finally goes,
also
I'm going to
funny.
stop talking. Like, this is just getting
Yeah.
into something. And I'm like,
I'm gonna
you
stop talking.
started all of this. The
And then
girls
go to-
peddled it along, but you started it. They could have never made
Yes.
this up and started this train of gossip without you.
Also, the girls didn't know. You're gonna tell me this happened. Austin didn't tell his best friend Craig, who would have told Paige either way.
Yeah.
He just waited. He locked and loaded to be like, hey guys, guess what?
Yes.
Hey guys. So then whatever. Carl in his interview, he's not even concerned. He's not threatened. He knows that
he's
like
secure in his relationship. And
yeah.
I'm like, thank you.
Lindsay's
this isn't a big deal.
Doesn't matter. So then Austin knows he shot himself in the foot, this 40-year-old piece of shit. Yeah, and then the conversation's over because there's like nowhere to go after this.
This ended so weird when it cut to the commercial and then we were like home. I was like, wait a minute.
I give it fully to Luke. He was like, did you touch the dick? And Lindsay's like, no. And then Luke's like, all right, well, to make light of it, maybe your dick's too small. She couldn't find it. Great,
he did
done.
it really well where he took what Austin was saying and then like would be like, Lindsay, what happened? And then what Lindsay was saying and be like, Luke or Austin, did she touch your leg? And he'd be like, yeah. And he's like, okay, so there was a leg touch.
So there's no dick.
At the end of the day, there's a leg touch.
Whatever.
And your leg's very long. We didn't even get a wear on the leg. If she touched his ankle, I'm done.
She touched my ankle and it's the same girth as my penis.
On the day that they said that they were giving their relationship a go, she touched my ankle.
My big toe was distraught.
It's actually the pinky toe.
Okay, so then before we leave, Jess and Rachel have a conversation, and I knew that this was gonna be come back. So I took so many notes. I got the exact quote. So Jess asked Rachel, "Are you in love?" And Rachel's like, "It's fragile right now." I feel like something got cut out, but then we get Jess's quote that says, "You are the most vibrant in like an artistic way that I've ever seen. Like it's a beauty that can't physically be replicated. I know I'm a hot piece of ass, so maybe I get some guys first, but like maybe you keep the guys later. It's fucking fine. Wait for it."
What a weird comment. I
didn't know what was going to happen with this.
I didn't either, because I was like, I don't know where Jess's mindset was. Like, is she trying to dig at herself or at... I could not understand where this came from, or like the point of it, I guess.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't think it was that offensive.
I don't find it offensive until I know like what Jess's like point of saying this was. Was she trying to make a dig? Because I can see how it can turn into a dig, but I actually thought
this was kind of
Jess is not great at communicating that. I was like, this actually, I'd be honored if somebody told me this.
Yeah, I think we missed a big chunk because Rachel says something different.
Yeah. Yes. Rachel talks about her like smarts or something.
Yeah.
Later.
But like,
but if somebody told me like, yeah, I'm a hot piece of ass, like I can get guys, but I can't always keep them. Like you're able to keep them. I'd be like, that's
because she didn't say like you're ugly or I'm hotter. She said like you're vibrant. It's a beauty that can't physically be replicated. I'm a hot piece of ass, so maybe I get guys first, but you keep guys later. Like that. Yeah. That's I'd be like
to me that came off as like I just pull the same thing Jess has talked about a lot for like the entire season of like guys get interested in me in my body, and then the minute they get to know me, like I lose them. So I think I didn't find this bad towards Rachel. I think I took it as the same thing Jess has been saying about herself. Like Jess was digging at herself, like I can never keep guys.
I think if Jess had said like I'm a hot piece of ass, you're not, and that's why I get guys and you keep them later.
You have the personality to keep them around. I'd be like, oh, she is hot.
But she does call Rachel beautiful.
Yeah.
Which like we'll get there. I don't know. I'm very
all get so touchy about like
I understand how this can hit a nerve. I 100% get it.
But there were a lot of compliments
in there. But I don't know if it was cut. weird.
I agree. I don't know. I just sometimes I'm like, oh, when somebody calls themselves like a hot piece of ass, sometimes we all take it as like, oh, and I'm not. And it's like, no, that's not what was said.
I would rather be like a vibrant, beautiful
Me too.
piece of ass than
Me
a, just
too.
like a
Yeah,
normal one.
I that's a good point.
I don't
You're
know.
right. Rachel does say something way different later.
And then I don't know if it was cut. We'll get there. Whatever.
We
Okay,
didn't even
so
have a good like angle on them. It was a lot of
no,
like the audio stripped off.
like wild lines almost.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Okay, so Tuesday, 11:15 p.m. We're leaving the bar. Jason carries Rachel into the house. Obsessed. Paige tells Craig she never wants to be the couple that goes to bed early, which is Lindsay and Carl, but they sober in their defense.
And like
tired.
it was weird to watch like their last scene at the bar and then they come home and they're like, gotta pack. Like I would want to check
Yeah, I'm
out.
going home too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jess asked Kory where okay, because Jess is like in the hallway and Kory's walking past her and she's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to the bathroom. Which, ma'am, just let this dude live. He's in the house.
This is what Paige was saying. Like, hold your cards to your chest. Like, you don't have to be with him 24/7.
Who cares?
You're
where
gonna
he's
scare him
going?
away.
Yeah.
You're in the same house as him. You're not at the bar anymore. He's not gonna go find a chick. There's no one else in this house he's gonna hook up with. Kory's smart enough not to like go hook up with Sierra now.
Also, let him just go pee.
He just
Like,
wants to go to the
okay.
bathroom.
So everyone's still talking about this dick
God
thing.
damn it.
Paige would and Craig would have broken up because they wouldn't have stood for
No,
this.
you wouldn't because you did the same thing.
Their timeline is not exactly clean, if we're gonna be honest. Okay, Amanda does hug Lindsay goodbye, so I guess they're good. And Luke does laundry tonight because every other moment everyone else is doing it.
Felt
I get
this.
it.
I lived in a sorority house, and when those washers were open, you could be drunk off your ass at 3 a.m. and you're like, gotta get that shit in.
Okay, so it's now 1:17 a.m. Okay, so Craig, Kyle, and Kory are in the kitchen taking shots. And Jess comes down and she's like, hey, Kory, are you coming to bed? And Kory's like, yeah, in a little bit. And she goes, what do you mean a little bit? So then Kory like brings Jess to his bed and he's like, hey, do you want water? And she's like, no, I want you to stay here. He's like, you're drunk, let me get you water. So he leaves to go back to the kitchen. And so he like cheers us to another shot in the kitchen with the boys. And Jess is so mad because Kory could have her naked right now, but he wants to be with the boys. There's only a few days left. How could he not want to spend them with her? Which, girl,
we are clearly on different wavelengths in a relationship here.
Here's where I was like, he may have a few days left with you, but also he has a few days left with the boys.
Yeah.
Also,
he wants to live each moment to its fullest. And if you want to go to bed, he's not upset with that.
No, he just does not. Kory's definitely not the type of dude to change for anyone.
No, he seems like he is here for a good time. Like,
not
let's
a
just
long
live
time,
it up fully on every aspect. So it's like he's probably really enjoying the Jess part of it, but he's like, you're one of like 7 people that I'm hanging out with in this house. Like, I still want to stay up and have a good time with these guys. And if she wanted to stay up with them, he'd be like, yeah, like, come hang out.
Yeah, my other thing is like, so with Jess now, she's mad because she's like, what do you mean in a little bit? Like, come to bed with me. He doesn't want to do that. No. This dude is so fucking still 21 at heart. He's not gonna deal with an argument. He's gonna fucking.
It's weird because this is giving me Kyle and Amanda vibes of season 2, but they were in a committed relationship.
Yeah,
and this is 6. Like, I think it's longer than 6 days. It's probably been 2. I think it's been like 2 weeks.
Kyle openly cheated on her when she
later on after season 2 did we find out about that, but
that's when she was mostly like, come to bed.
Yeah, the like water moment.
Yeah, fucking come to bed. Okay, so speaking of water, Kory walks in with a glass of water for Jess. He was gone long enough to get a glass of water and a shot. And Jess calls him annoying and he's like, why? I got you water. And Jess is like, I don't know why Kory's not making more of an effort. So she tells Kory that she wants something serious. And Kory's like, it's 2 a.m. Can we talk about this? Not right now.
Oh, and when she was like, there's never a good time to talk about it, I was like, yeah, but this is like the worst time to talk about it. 2 a.m, you've all been drinking.
Maybe
and
like
you're
you
mad.
wake up and you're like, I love waking up next to you. We
Let's
should
do this all
do
the
this
time.
seriously. Yeah. So then Kory's like, he says to her, like, he does want something with her. But again, all I think
I
is
think he's saying that
logistically,
in the
yeah,
moment to get
agreed.
out of talking about this and without her being like upset. Because if he says, if he just keeps saying, let's talk about this tomorrow, she's going to clearly catch on
I
that he
agree.
doesn't want anything.
All I think is logistically, this girl lives in LA. So,
And he is going to be in North Carolina
South, yeah, North Carolina. South
because he's going to be in
Carolina.
Charlotte.
Is that in North?
I think it's in
Don't
North.
come for me.
Now I'm like questioning myself. Okay, I weirdly have been in a very not exactly similar situation, but when I was abroad, this happened where it's like I really like someone. We were there for 3 months, weren't even dating.
No.
So there's a vast time difference, but it's like we live in different cities where our parents live. We go to different cities in college. This can logistically not work. Granted, they're adults, so like they could make a long distance work. But when you're east to west coast, that's a little different
That's
than Paige
hard.
and Craig being
Same
Charleston to New
time.
York.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Kyle goes to bed and Amanda says, I love you. Good night. And Kyle responds with, I really love maple syrup. And the romance is like
This, I was
fucking
like, they are
insane.
in a great spot, actually. I was like,
She's
this is great.
she's like, I don't care if you love fucking maple syrup. And he says nothing. He's still
Yes,
thinking, I
I
really
loved
think
this.
Kyle and Luke would make a great couple.
They vibe so well.
This friendship, I love it. Okay, so it's Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Carl and Lindsay are up to leave. Rachel, of course, is up and downstairs. Carl was really excited to come and show off this new version of him and Lindsay, but he is excited to fucking leave.
Yes, I would be too. There's a lot, and you're just not on the same page as a lot of these people. They're like ready to frat it up, and your life's
Fair.
together.
It's fair. It's very fair.
I did like how Carl and Lindsay went into Kyle and Amanda's room and like hugged them goodbye.
Said goodbye.
I was like, this makes me feel better on how things are being left. Yeah, they just kind of like left in the middle of the morning and didn't say goodbye to anyone, I'd be like, oh, things are so awkward now.
I know this foursome's kind of destroyed now, but I root for it. I still root for it.
I wouldn't say it's destroyed. It just isn't what it always was.
It's not what I want it to be.
Yeah. I think they're probably just separate. They've taken steps back from like closeness.
Agreed. So this experience was very different for Lindsay than last year. Oh my God, they show my favorite quote. Remember when she fucking fell off that chair into the door and then goes, ow.
When they're like, it is such a different year. I was like, they are just showing every shot Lindsay took last year. And they are really playing the like sober versus drunk right now. And I really love this montage because last year was hilarious.
So it was so good. But Lindsay had fun. So Craig and Paige wake up. This trip has brought them way closer together. He loves waking up to her every morning. Great. Then Kory calls his parents. He's complaining about the lack of gym in the winter house, but he did just sign a lease for his new gym in Charlotte, which we don't know where that is.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Because I've been to South Carolina, but I haven't spent a good time in North Carolina.
You're right. It is North Carolina. Shout out.
Yes. Geography.
I'm stupid. I blame the public school system.
It's really close to, I'm pretty sure it's really close to South Carolina. So that might be where some confusion is.
Nice. Yeah. I was right there. Okay. So Kory is then talking about Jess and he's like, I would love to date Jess, not to his parents. He's just talking to us about it. Mm-hmm. He would love to date Jess, but realistically, like he's going to, and this is where he said South Carolina to work. I think South Carolina is where his other gym is.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I think that's why I'm confused. Okay. He's going to the Carolinas to work.
Yeah. Let's just keep it to the Carolinas.
And Jess is like again in LA in the metaverse.
I think he has real feelings for her and I think he really does like her, but he's so realistic. Logical. Yeah. And with him opening a new gym, that's very time intensive. He probably wants to put all of his energies toward that. So if she lived in the same city as him even, that'd be like, oh, I've got a lot going on.
Yes. So then we cut to it's Gaper Day. I don't know what that meant, but I guess it's an opportunity.
I want to
What?
know, if people actually know about Gapers Day, can you DM us and just tell us, is this a real thing across the board? Is it the same day for everyone? I had those thoughts and I'm just curious. Or did they just pick a day and this group's doing it? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. We're not skiers. I've
Please
openly said
DM.
that.
I actually want
So
to know.
they explain it as an opportunity for people that know how to ski to make fun of people that don't.
I just thought that was
As
every day.
as someone who doesn't know how to ski, that's terrifying. Okay, so great. Craig, Paige, and Kory and Luke are in one car. And Craig says that Lindsay sober is great because her explosiveness goes down. Like
I
he doesn't get
agree.
as
But I
annoyed with
think
her.
that's with everyone.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that's just a Lindsay trait.
I mean, Craig exploded sober about cleaning, so I don't know, but
Yeah, but
if
like
he's
think about him punching the pinata the night
pinata,
before.
that was great. But Paige thinks she should stay sober, which is another weird
Girl,
dig.
they act like they are so different from her. Like they are
Yeah.
above her.
Can I just say, Craig in
You
this?
reacted to Austin in the summer house and chewed him out. Well deserved, but like don't act like you don't blow up at people too.
I was gonna say, if we're comparing it, Craig and Lindsay are on the same realm, and Carl and Paige
Yes.
are on this same realm.
No, Carl is not on the scale. He really, even when he was like drinking, never blew up like this, like a Lindsay
Uh,
Craig. Not like them. He is way lower than Paige when he is drinking. He's a shithead for sure. He's like an Austin. He makes terrible decisions, gets himself into a hole, but they're not like screaming at people.
I guess. I don't know. I just think like this could have been Paige could have said like, yeah, she's great sober. She really has
It
got
really
it
works
together.
for her. She
Instead,
looks
she
great.
like it's the slide comment of her looking at her phone like she should stay sober. And Craig starts laughing. And I was like, girl, it
You
doesn't
know
look
what you're
good.
doing.
It doesn't look good. It looks bad.
There's what I don't like is they're sitting in a glass house throwing rocks, and I'm like,
Yes.
you are the exact same. So
Yeah.
just cut the crap.
Just don't call it out. So then we time for skiing. Kory hits Paige in the head with a snowball. That was kind of fun.
I love that, but I was really sad that I'm gonna shove this ski pole up your ass.
Wasn't real.
Yeah, I was excited for that in the preview.
I thought it was like a real fight
Yeah, I thought it would
with
be a
Craig.
better.
I thought it was real.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rachel is not comfortable skiing or snowboarding. So Jason said she can hop on his back and he'll carry her down because he did that with Lindsay
He
last year.
has
So he
so
knows
many
he could do it.
skills.
And yeah, Rachel hops on that back. This looks so goddamn hard. Even the dudes are like, that's intense.
He makes
That's
it look
talent.
so easy. Like it just is, it's seamless. And I'm like, I would not be scared to hop on your back. I mean, I don't want to, I'm terrified.
I'm terrified.
But I would trust Jason out of anyone to do that.
Yeah, for sure. So Kory does some jumps, Sierra made it down. Amanda did a blue square, which means she's a professional. I don't know what a blue square is.
I don't know anything about skiing.
Great. Love that. So Rachel, after she comes down on Jason's back, she's done. She's like, Jason, I want you to have a fun time.
Yeah.
You're not going to go as fast with me. I'm more of a sit down girl.
I have this assessment. I would try a few times on the like trip to be like, okay, I'll go down 1 or 2 times, but like sit my ass at the fire with a cocktail. Sierra, same too.
Sierra,
love,
who actually tries on her own and then is like, goodbye.
Yeah, it's Sierra's second year. Sierra did really good down the mountain. Proud of her, but she's like, I know my limits. I'm done.
I'm done. Okay, so Rachel and Sierra grab drinks, which is great. Austin eats shit. We love to see it. Okay, and then the girls, Sierra and Rachel. And Rachel talk. The trip ending is very bittersweet for Rachel because Jason is so kind and Rachel loves that they will be like friends forever. Even if they don't date after this, like they're going to have each other in their lives for a long time, which is so cute because then she does say like, it's going to be hard because he lives in Harlem and she lives in Brooklyn. So like,
look at them being so realistic about distance when like Jess is like thousands of miles away and we can make it work.
I was going to say, I didn't know Jason. I mean, maybe I did, but I don't remember that he lived in Harlem.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Which, if Rachel lives by me in Brooklyn, that is at least an hour, if not more, on the train.
Oh, yikes.
You might have to take multiple trains depending on where in Brooklyn you are.
I don't like to get out of my bed. So if I have to I could talk myself out of that journey every day.
Lindsay, it made more sense because she, I think, is more in Manhattan, so she can get to Harlem easier. I don't know where in Brooklyn Rachel is, obviously, but it fucking sounds like
because you have to go over into like
Manhattan
and then go up.
And then into Harlem, or you go, if you're from me, I'd have to go either that way or through the rest of Brooklyn, through Long Island, which probably wouldn't happen, and then get to Harlem.
I'm exhausted even just talking about it.
I love it. Okay, so then Kyle and Craig made it down the mountain, but they totally ditched Amanda and Paige, but the girls made it, so shout out. Luke, Jason, and Jess make it down. Jess did really good. And then these three are like, hey, let's talk about Kory. How the hell?
What an interesting group talking about this. I was excited about this group because Jess hasn't talked about Kory to them.
Yeah. If I'm remembering this correctly, it's like Kyle, Craig, and the girls go to a bar.
Yes.
Or a restaurant.
Because Amanda says, I want to be inside.
Yeah. Okay. So Luke, Jason, and Jess talk about Kory. And Jess says, like, she knows her insecurities are out, but dating Kory, she wants to be looked at in a certain way. Like, she wants it to be seen as like a real relationship.
When she says the word dating, Jason and Luke's faces immediately got a what?
Yeah, they both go, are you dating? And Jason does tell her, he's like, I think this is probably more of like a fun time than like a dating time, you know, like,
yeah, this is a fling.
And so the boys are just like, we don't know if he would classify this as dating, because we probably wouldn't.
What would you classify it as? And not in a mean way. I'm just like, if you were in this situation, what would you classify this for yourself?
I'd be like, this is a really fun fling we're having. Yeah. But I'm also very realistic in the sense of like, once we leave, what is going to happen? Where do you live? Yeah. Where do I live? Do we have other people? I don't even think I could
put a word on it because it's just a weird moment in time.
The fun winter fling.
Yeah.
Or like because it's not really dating, right? When I say like,
because they haven't gone on a date even.
Yeah, like I went on a few dates with this guy and I was like, we're kind of dating, I guess, but
we're doing the act of dating, but I wouldn't say like I wouldn't put the label as dating.
Yeah, we're not together.
Because I feel like her saying dating is the label that she's calling it. And you can label it whatever you want, but I just think and other people label things differently than her.
Yeah. But then like Jason's like, so what are you looking for? And she's like, in a perfect world after this, we would be exclusive. And Jason just tells her, honestly, to keep it light, take it slow. And she's like, thanks for the advice, but I'm not going to do that. So fuck you, basically.
I don't think Jess really understands, like, Jason did this last year. Like Jason, similar to like Paige giving her advice based on like what situation Paige was just in, that was similar. Jason just did this last year with Lindsay.
Also, Jason didn't say anything mean. He was
no one has said anything mean to her. They're just giving her like Jess isn't asking for advice, but this is how the world operates. People give their advice no matter what, but they're just trying to protect Jess's heart, I think. Like they don't want to see her upset. So Jason, they're trying to level set expectations.
He's trying to be a good friend, to be like, hey, take it light.
That's so true. Jason giving this advice makes even more like sense.
They're supposed to be friends. He's like, hey girl, and he's not jealous. He's not like, don't date Kory because I want to date you. He's got fucking beautiful Rachel. He doesn't need you. Yes. Not that you're also not beautiful, because you are, but like he doesn't need you to think like, I need her too. No,
for me, it goes back to Jess's thing about how she talks about other people being like
jealous of her, just wanting her.
Yeah, I think it's the narrative she tells herself a lot of like, but that's not actually
boys want me and girls want to be me. That's literally her whole narrative.
I think that's what she thinks about Jason and Paige giving her this unsolicited advice.
Yeah. So simultaneously, we got Austin and Kory on the mountain.
This was perfect. I'm sorry. Jess. I enjoyed this too much because we all can see this coming.
We all know. Yeah. So Kory's like, hey, Jess is super into me, but she's still a little insecure in like a relationship. And he says like things really sped up, but I don't know how they're going to progress outside and we're not exclusive.
Her saying, I want to be exclusive, and him saying, I do not want to be exclusive. I knew this was coming, but I just didn't think it would happen like this.
Perfectly on a mountain.
Yes. Where they both say the like the same word.
Do you think the Bravo producers were like getting this in the back cam, just like, fuck, They're both
No,
going.
because I think that is actually something like most people talk about, like exclusive instead of like
No, I mean
dating.
like at the same time,
Oh,
the
like
Bravo
they're like,
producers are like, this is amazing.
yes,
Like,
but I don't think they forced this word
No,
because I
no.
think this is a common word.
No, I think they said like you two talk, you three talk, and
Yeah.
there's someone in like a sprinter van with all the equipment, just like, oh my god, it's
Like
happening
writing
twice,
down
it's
down the
happening
timestamp of like
happening
when these two
twice.
things happen. Like we got it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's now 3:44. Amanda, Paige, Rachel, and Sierra are sitting having some food, talking about where they should raise kids. Amanda says the suburbs of New York is the place for her.
Which her parents are in New Jersey, so I bet they'll
Yeah,
settle
it's fine.
down over there.
Rachel is gonna die in the city, which cracked me up because same girl, same. We'll buy our apartments together.
I
Could be
will
our
die in a
coffins.
city. I don't want to be a suburb person.
No, never. Sierra says she would probably move back down south, which is great. Love that.
Yeah.
And Paige says she never saw herself in New York City with kids or the surrounding areas, but also doesn't know about Charleston.
That
and this
shocks
is
me.
Yeah, but then it makes sense when she says she cannot adapt. It's too nice. They're all too preppy. They all wear
But the way
floral
they
and
set it up
pastels.
in the like previews was that she was saying she wanted to go to Charleston, which shocked me.
Yeah, but in Charleston, there's no black leather pants, and that's her whole personality.
Especially after seeing her on Southern Charm, she was just like, "You guys, I need you guys to say like fuck you to your face, like each other's face."
You watched her, right? On that? And she weirdly looked super bitchy, even though she wasn't. It was everyone
but you
else.
could tell she was like biting her tongue a lot, like like I know we hate pages like, oh, like digs at Lindsay, but that is very New York. That is very the style of how people talk. Like maybe not as harshly as the digs she's throwing.
Maybe not to your friends, but yeah,
yes,
sure.
but like that is the vibe, and she cannot do that down south.
No, she truly did complain. Those were all real quotes from Southern Charm that she was like super pissed.
Yeah.
Okay, but so the whole group takes a shot. Great. We go back to the house. We're gonna get sushi tonight. We got 3 more days, and then Austin gets to see Olivia, but he's super annoyed she couldn't come. He's texting her. It's fun.
He in that text, he acts like everybody said no. People said yes, and also told you this is a bad idea.
Yeah. So we all grab sushi. Kyle eats some wasabi, cries a little. There's non-alcoholic liquor that Kory drinks. Pissed.
Immediately they dump it down the drain.
Pissed.
When you're drinking hardcore, this is the vibe. You're like, get this non-alcoholic shit out of here.
The only non-alcoholic thing we're drinking is water to live. That's it.
At the end of the night, because we are grasping.
At the end, we don't even do it
for our life.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna play a game. It's gonna be beer pong, but all the cups are gonna say either truth, dare, or drink.
I loved this. Amanda, I was excited. This is a fun game.
Great. It made it one round, but we did it.
It went downhill.
Great. Okay, so.
But Austin, I was just thinking, like, this is a fun way to mix up normal beer pong. I've already played beer pong a lot. Like, I want to go play this on my Christmas Eve party.
So Austin, Jess, and Kyle are not in the kitchen when Amanda's explaining this game. But then we get Jess walking into Kyle's room to talk to Kyle.
That was the weirdest hole for a conversation ever.
This is not it.
Kyle's just standing there like, what can I do for you?
Someone tweeted something like, so Kyle's Jess's new BFF, and he looks thrilled, and it's his face of just like standing there.
Kyle also looks way too put together. Like right now, he looks like a dad
in a rugby shirt, in his lover boy rugby shirt.
Yes. Like later, Craig says, like, this is, or was it Luke? Somebody said, like, this is how I feel like I would describe
Kyle's style.
Kyle to someone. And I was just like, but there's 2 versions of Kyle. This is like weekday Kyle, and then there's like him on that mountain shredding the gnar with his.
There's also business Kyle. He can clean up if
this is more like business version of him, and it's just weird that Jess is like wanting to sit down and have a conversation with like put together Kyle.
This is promotion Kyle. He's wearing this shirt. He's drinking a lover boy.
I want that rugby.
The only reason he agreed to this scene was to promote lover boy some more. He's like, yeah, I'll sit down.
Kyle's polite. Like he would never say no.
Get out. Get out.
Like, I would never be like, get out. Especially because sometimes I think Kyle does feel like he's the dad, the top dog in this house. So he wants people to feel comfortable. So if Jess needs something as a new person, he does try to like sit there with people and have these types of conversations.
Kyle's number one guy in the group, so
just not self-proclaimed, so that's why it sticks.
It's happening. Okay, so Jess asked Kyle for advice, to which I said, ma'am, go to a woman. Don't ask Kyle.
You don't like when people give you their advice, but you want to ask people for it now?
Go to a woman. This is what women are for.
Yes, not Kyle.
No. So Jess tells Kyle about what Jason said about taking it slow and just having fun. And Jess feels like people are trying to minimize her and Kory's relationship, especially Paige and Jason. Name drop. Girl, mistake numero uno. Well, 2, because you went to Kyle. That's mistake number 1. Okay, so Kyle's like, we all give opinions. Don't take the opinions that seriously. Follow your heart, even if you get hurt. He has no context of this relationship.
Well, he also just hears Jess say, I hate when people give me advice. So Kyle's not going to drop advice.
No, also, Kyle's not in this relationship. He doesn't know what's happening with you and Kory.
He's not besties with Kory. He doesn't know you that well. How can you give advice when you have not been in the dating scene for a while? And don't really know either party that well.
She should have gone to Rachel. She literally, Rachel could have helped.
I can imagine what Kyle would say.
Well, Kyle just goes, do you? To which I was like, this is why we talk to women.
That's all he can say, because she said, everybody's minimizing my relationship. I'm happy and people are being mean, basically. Is so like,
he can't be like, your relationship is 2 weeks in the making, girl.
Yeah, he can't be honest with her.
Yeah, but then in her interview, Jess says, for all the haters, just because your relationship sucks doesn't mean mine will. Why would you want me to fail before it even begins?
I don't think anyone wants it to fail. I think people are trying to make her be realistic. Take a step back. Yes, and like look at what's happening. I think she's getting caught up, and a lot of us do. I get caught up real quick.
Immediately, yeah.
But I think people are trying to bring her down to earth, because I think other people can see that there's going to be a heartbreak at the end of this if she keeps at the level she is and with Kory at the level he's at.
The only thing I would say is, yes, when I have a good guy friend tell me to slow down or whatever, I'll be like, thanks for your advice, but let me talk to, and I will talk to one of my girlfriends about it immediately. Yeah. And if she says slow down, I'll be like, you're right. Like, I will always be like, thank you.
But you wouldn't be like, you're minimizing my relationship for telling me to slow it down.
I would be like, you're a dude. I don't fully trust you.
Yeah. I don't think you really know what's happening.
So, it's 9:49 p.m. We're playing beer pong, but this game. Okay, so Austin shoots. He gets truth. He then has to ask all the girls the truth. It's, when was the last time you had sex? Amanda said before we came here, because we know she doesn't have sex on camera.
Yes.
Paige said a couple minutes ago, which thank God we didn't get that sex on camera.
They do it like in the closet or in the bathroom.
In the shower.
Yeah, they don't do it in the bed.
Rachel says, how long have we been here? And they're like, 14 days. And she goes, 14 days.
She said 15, like the day before.
15 days. And so then Sierra's like, yeah, 15 days. And this.
Austin flips.
Austin goes, oh, so I can't bring Olivia here, but Sierra can bang? Okay. But, and I was like, what?
When they showed us this preview, I thought she slept with someone in the house. I was like, okay, I can get his feelings a little bit more if that happens. He shouldn't be like that upset, because they are different situations. But I think he deserves to be a little bit upset if she bangs someone in the house after that bar night.
Yes, I just really quick, because this lasts forever, and I just don't want to keep being like,
I agree.
This is why we're mad. Just a really quick
cut and dry.
Austin cannot get mad at Sierra for hooking up with someone outside this house.
Yes.
They are not together. No. They are not friends. He has a separate girl, so it's a double standard. The fact that it's not in the house, it has no correlation with you. I get Olivia not coming to the house. I get Sierra not being allowed to hook up with anyone in the house. I get that, because it is disrespectful. It's awkward. There were feelings there.
Yeah.
What she does on her own time does not apply to you. Because
especially like you said, outside of the house, it's what happened before coming into this house has no effect on Olivia coming or not coming.
No. It's the fact that Sierra and Austin are living together.
And yes. Period. And that you have had not great relationships the last few times that you have seen each other. And so like, let's try and get to a friendship level.
Yes. the other thing is, how come Austin can date Olivia, but Sierra can't just bang a dude? Like, you have full feelings for someone else. That's worse.
It is. I think it all boils down to him still liking Sierra, and he wants his cake, and he wants to have his cake and eat it too.
He's a psycho. Okay, so now that we've gotten why it's wrong, we'll just tell you what happens now. So Sierra's like, what's the fucking problem? Or wait. Oh, wait, pause. Austin had told Luke that the last time he had sex, it was with Sierra. Remember that? They were in bed and they were like all cuddled up. And he's like, do you know the last person I had sex with?
No, I did not.
Luke was like,
out of
who? And Austin goes, Sierra. And Luke was like, ew, I don't know why you're telling me this, because he also had sex. Yeah. It was like after the ice skating, it's something weird. They like gotten back and these two talked.
This makes so much more sense.
But as background for Southern Charm, Olivia didn't sleep with Austin because she knew, and we'll get into it. Yeah. Okay. So Sarah's like, what's the fucking problem? And Austin's like, because I can't bring my girl here. And they like start fighting. He like didn't think Sierra was gonna move on, but like he's just an ass. And now he's mad also because Sierra flirted with Kory before he even came. Hilarious.
I wouldn't call that hardcore flirting though. That's like getting to know someone, and
flirting is flirting, dude. Let it happen.
I flirt with like my guy friends in a fun banter way.
Yeah, so no one knows why the fuck he's even mad. Sierra's allowed to fuck someone in the house. Caught here. Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. He keeps saying the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy.
Austin doesn't know how to fight, and I like it. I love watching him make no sense.
Yeah, so Sierra walks away, right? And Austin's like, I don't know how this even escalated, but whatever. And
people
Sierra
like, then you did this.
Sierra tells us in the speed dating game, remember? She got the card, and the card was, when was last time he had sex?
He's the one who picked the cards. That's what she said in her interview. I don't think we knew that beforehand, but I guess he picked the cards and handed them to her. So he wanted to ask her when the last time she had sex.
Oh,
and she wanted to answer it.
He randomly grabbed them and like.
No, I think he picked it out.
It doesn't matter. But she didn't want to answer that. So we skipped it. And this is why. So then Paige is like yelling. Okay, so now Paige gets involved. And this is where I'm like, girl, you got to get Lindsay off your mind, because she's like, how come you don't yell at Lindsay, but you yell at Sierra? And I was like, this dude shouldn't yell at anyone.
Those two situations are unrelated.
Very
just
different.
like Austin's girl coming and Sierra sleeping with a guy, unrelated. Lindsay being
very
here.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you let Lindsay get away with everything. And I was like, I don't know. Whatever. So
Paige Lindsay let Austin get away with that.
Yeah, true. True. So Paige also says it's been 2 weeks and she should have fucked everyone in this house. Because Austin hasn't talked to her in 4 fucking months.
I do appreciate Paige sticking up for her like this. Like, she is roasting Austin right now.
This is straight up me. If someone comes for my
friend, this is what I want out of a friend.
This is me to a T. I would straight up look at them and be like, I wish she fucked someone in your bed right in fucking front of you. Like, fuck you, you piece of shit. I would go in. So I get Paige.
This is my love for Paige. Like, I love how she can just attack someone like this, and justified.
She flipped. She was like, how dare you? I loved it. Because she also says Austin hasn't talked to Sierra in 4 months after Austin fucked her while he was with Olivia.
Well, saying he wasn't going to be with Olivia and then gets back together with her the next day.
Okay, I'm going to explain this.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, for all of you that don't watch Southern Charm, this is what happened.
Give us the timeline.
On Southern Charm.
This is the timeline I care about, not the fucking Lindsay shit.
I don't care about that. So on Southern Charm, there was a dog wedding, right? Yeah. So during this dog wedding,
Paige explaining this in her interview is cracking me up, because if you don't watch Southern Charm, this sounds so weird.
So there's a dog wedding, right? Austin obviously is on Southern Charm, so he's going to be there. And so is Craig. Paige and Craig, they just started officially dating. Mm-hmm. So Paige, they might have even still just been like maybe not official.
No, they were dating because at the start of the season is all the Naomi drama.
Yeah. Okay. So they just started officially dating. She goes to Charleston for this dog wedding. I know it sounds dumb, but it happened.
But that's where it all goes down.
Sierra also came into town and was at Craig's, but didn't want to be on camera for Southern Charm. So it was like,
has not seen Austin.
No, she just came with Paige, I think. Mm-hmm. Who knows? We didn't get any information because she didn't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
So then Olivia and Austin are not together. Here is what happened with that. Austin and Olivia went on a date. They hit it off, whatever. Austin made it very clear, I don't want to be official with anyone. So Olivia was like, what the fuck? So then one of Olivia's friends was like, hey, for this dog wedding, that's not that serious. I'm going to bring a date for you. And Olivia's like, fine.
And a lot of them were, I think, like, let's force the hand of Austin to have to say, like, I like you. I don't want you to date other people.
100%. It was Shep's cousin that brought this date for Olivia. So Olivia just met this dude's Zach.
Blind date. Nothing serious.
Nothing. They show up to this dog wedding. Someone tells Austin, because Austin's like, who's that? And they go, that's Olivia's date. Not that she's dating him. That's Olivia's date for the dog wedding. So Austin gets super goddamn butt hurt. So mad.
So pissed.
Treats Olivia like absolute shit at this dog wedding.
He's like, I'm done with you.
He's pissed. Paige then says, you know, our girl's in town.
Sierra.
I think again, because they didn't want to drop Sierra's name, but Austin does. He goes, Sierra? And she's like, yeah. And Craig says she's on my couch right now. So he hits up Sierra, goes to fuck off Sierra camera. That night. Off camera, totally off camera. The next day, he owns up to it on camera that he did that thing. And then he apologizes, wants to get back for Olivia, fights for Olivia, says they're going to be dating, which now I'm surprised that they're not dating still because he fought so goddamn hard for her. But yes, so that is what happened.
And this is the sleeping with Austin incident that we saw on the Summer House reunion.
Yes.
That they talked about.
That they slept together. This is it. This happened. And Austin is completely to blame.
Paige is saying that they haven't even spoken since they slept together. Whoa.
Horrible. Austin was horrible to Olivia. She did not take it that seriously. He was also still fighting with his ex Madison at this point. It was all stupid.
It was there was so much happening.
Paige is obviously yelling at Austin to apologize.
Handing him his ass.
Great. So Austin goes to Sierra's door. He opens it because she's in the bathroom and she comes out of the bathroom and goes, get out of my room immediately.
I love her sticking up for herself like this. Like, fuck you. I don't even want an apology. You're the scum of the earth.
Doesn't want an apology. He always goes after her. She has stuck up for him. She has tried to be nice.
She has.
Be her friend.
She has been way too good to him.
To a detriment that the whole world kind of shat on her a little bit.
And herself. Like, she has just let so much slide and she's done at this point.
And she is activated. Like, she is just like,
that's a great word for it.
He tries to say, like, I'm not coming after you. She like turns up and she's like, get the fuck out of my room. I've always had your back. You always come at me sideways. You make me look like an idiot. And then you sit here with disbelief.
Yes.
Like you can't believe it. And she basically is like, get out, shuts the door in his face. So now we've hit 9:59. Very early night for all of this to be happening. But okay.
First round of the beer pong game. So sad. I wanted to see more.
So Austin walks back and he's disbelief that he got yelled at. Who knew? So Austin calls everyone super lame and he goes to his room and Kory, and then I think it's over a little bit because Kory and Jess just are in the bed because they're done. Paige and Sierra talk about how Austin's got the fucking nerve. And at this point, Sierra's like, I don't love that she's putting Olivia down, but I get it.
I agree.
Like, bring that plain bitch here. Like, I'll run circles around her ass, which, like, you're angry. I get it.
I was about to say, like, she's very reactionary, but I was thinking the same thing. Like, you don't know what, I don't think she knows Olivia. And like, Olivia's done nothing.
Also, I don't really like Olivia because I also think she's boring, but I wouldn't sit there and be like, fuck that bitch. I'm gonna run circles
it's like
her.
I don't find Olivia entertaining.
No,
she's not my favorite character, but nobody deserves this when they didn't do anything. This isn't like beef with Lindsay where you like have a history with Lindsay. Like this girl is just a random third party.
Yeah, you don't even fucking know her. But I mean, she's losing because she's dating Austin. So you already have that.
You should be like, that poor bitch. Like,
don't you fucking worry.
She gets him and I
bring her here and I'll take her for myself. That's what Sierra.
Yeah, I'll save her.
She's gonna be my girlfriend when we leave this house.
That would actually be hilarious.
That'd be great. Okay, so Rachel.
It's one of those when they go low, like you go high moments. Like, let's not go low on somebody who's not actually involved.
Even here. Yeah. Okay, so Rachel falls asleep. Kyle and Amanda talk. And this is where Kyle lets Amanda know about their talk with Jess because it was super weird. But yeah, so how Jess is upset that Jason and Paige are deminimizing her relationship.
I like how then
Deminimizing
he
is my
sits
new.
and he goes, diminishing.
Deminimizing. I love that. So Amanda is like, what the fuck? Jess is all over the place, but fine. We're not gonna minimize her relationship. Like, well,
Amanda's so sweet. She's like, fine, if I see it happening, I'll stick up for her. Like trying
that
to be the
surprises
mom.
me because I was like, you barely stuck up for someone you have at least 6 years of history with in Lindsay and Carl, but you're gonna stick up for this girl in the metaverse?
I don't think she wants to, but I think she's tired of the bullshit and trying to stop. Like, I think she's tired of just blaming everyone for being the problem. So Amanda's like, all right, if it does happen, I'll point it out, but it's not happening. So it's not like Amanda will have to do anything.
I hate
people
Kory
aren't
Jess,
diminishing it. People are trying to shake Jess and say, listen,
we want you to be realistic.
Yeah, we're worried for you.
Yeah. So it's 1:09 a.m. and Kory leaves Jess's bed and she does one of those like, where are you going? And he's like, bye.
He's like, I'm not gonna. He like took a bowl or a dish off of her dresser, and it was a slow little thing, and I was just like, this cracks me up thinking about the time he walked into her room and there was like food, and he was like, gross.
Yep. That's funny. I didn't even catch that. That's good. So it's Thursday, 8:58 a.m. The house is awakening. Luke's in the kitchen and Craig comes in and they're fine because Luke's making bacon and coffee.
Their interaction was somewhat weird. They talk about how good bacon smells, and I'm like,
in the morning specifically. So we talk about going bike skiing, and Jess is going to join because she's never tried bike skiing, and I kind of get it. Whatever.
I get it, but you could slowly start to tell it was going to be all the guys.
Yes,
and then Jess. And I was like, this is a moment where the girls are telling you only hang out with the boys.
Yeah. So the girls are going to go to a winery. Okay. So off to bike skiing. I almost said ice fishing. That was a different day. Okay. So the trip, is about to be over and it's hitting Jess and all she wants to do is spend her time with Kory, and her and Kory are holding hands in the car. And this is where I'm like, you don't even want to try bike skiing. You just want to hang out with Kory.
Yes.
Luke has a moment where he's obsessed with the mountains and the snow and the lake.
People go, what are you looking at? And he's like, the view. And I get this.
I get that.
The world is beautiful. Look out your window.
Yeah, who was it? Someone was like, what's there even to look at?
What's there to look at? And he's like, the mountain, the lake in between, the frozen. Like, how could you not? And I was like, I agree.
I get it. Okay, so the girls go to a winery and Craig is there. This is when I said, do you think the boys just rented enough bike skis for the boys? And then when Jess was like, I'm going to go, one boy had to back out and Craig's like, I guess it'll be me.
Yes.
Okay.
I really do think that.
Dope. Okay. So
like they just needed more even numbers.
Yeah.
And Craig was like, I'm fine. I'll go with Paige.
Yeah, we cheers to wine. Rachel says tomorrow's Jess's birthday, and everyone's like, okay, we'll get like a cake and decorations.
This made me so nervous. No matter what they do, I think she's gonna be mad.
Same.
Like, I feel like nobody can do anything right around her.
I mean, the girls are trying to prove that they're not bad girls.
Yes.
So Amanda tells them about Kyle and Jess's conversation, specifically being upset with Paige and Jason.
Paige is shook.
They're just like, oh my God, this girl cannot just get off my goddamn back.
Amanda uses the exact same language that Jess told Kyle and Kyle told Amanda. This is not telephone gaming. This is not telephone. Getting perfectly
copy and
said.
paste. Copy and paste perfectly.
That they are like minimizing. I almost said deminimizing. Minimizing her relationship, and Paige is like, what? Wait, me?
She's like, are you goddamn fucking kidding me?
Paige cannot do anything right.
No, Paige and Jess will never be friends.
Paige is a lot wrong, but with Jess, I really have Paige's back here.
I root for her. I'm like, Paige, I know you're doing good, and I'm like, Jess just doesn't see it.
Like, Paige is a girl's girl. Yeah, like with her friends. She ride or dies with them to a fault with the like Lindsay type stuff, because it goes towards hate a lot.
Well, with the Hannah shit, she rode that to the end.
But like she's doing the good part of girl's girl with Jess.
She was the one that's like, we'll get a cake and decorations. Like, she's the one that said we'll do it, and then Amanda's like, joke's on you.
She hates you again. You're a mean girl again.
Rachel.
And Jason. Rachel, when she found out Jason, she goes, really? Jason?
Okay, this I gotta be honest. I'm a petty ass girl at heart. I love when we just all talk about someone and we all feel justified that they're coming at all of us.
Especially like it's a wine day. Like we're drinking wine and bitching
This
about
is
the
my
same person.
favorite.
Such a great day. Like let's all
My
it's a
favorite.
shitty moment, but let's be honest. Let's be honest with each
Like
other.
I like how
we
it's
love
not
it.
it's not that serious. Paige is not that mad. She's more of like, are you fucking kidding me? And everyone's
Yeah.
like, I know, Jason. What? So then
You're
Rachel's like,
so
guys,
right.
yeah, this is awesome. I will fully own that this is one of my favorite parts about being a girl is because we do this shit and I love
When
it.
everybody
This
falls on the same page and you can just like giggle about it, you're like,
it's
what?
funny. I know. Because now Rachel is like, guys, you'll never guess what Jess said to me. Oh my God. And it was kind of mean. So she basically says, like, it's something about guys think you're smart. They might not come to you at first. And then that's when the laughing stops because Paige is like, wait, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
they were like, wait, this whole moment fun.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
I think this is only okay to say about yourself. Like, I would say, boys don't approach me first at the bar, but it's my personality that shines through that they're like, this is a girl that we want to hang out with, right?
You can only say the later half. Like, you were way better at me, like, sticking with guys because you have like such a great personality that like keeps them around. I don't have that.
That's where I was getting at. So I could say that whole thing about myself and I know it. But if someone else said that to me, I'd be like, you're a fucking bitch. How dare you?
Like we are close enough where I could even say it once and maybe it would come off funny. But it's like, but then you would saying it to someone else, they could sit back and once the moment's over, be like, man, that was kind of a dig. Like you like think about it and internalize it.
Like if I said this, if I was like, yeah, you know, like I know I'm not a hot piece of ass, but like I think I have a good personality. You would be like, you do have a good personality. Yes. And I think you're beautiful. And I'd be like, she thinks I'm ugly, but like,
if I said to you, like, yeah, guys don't come for you for your looks, but that personality keeps them around. Even if we are that close, where I would straight up be like,
"Ow, that hurt a little bit."
Leave. Even the moment of just joking, saying it, I feel like you would leave that situation and just be like, what the fuck?
Even just doing it to explain on this podcast, I'm a little sad.
I felt weird saying that.
It's so funny.
Close. Like Jess and Rachel have known each other for
not
2
that
weeks.
Close. That's so funny. I can't imagine how Rachel felt now.
My whole body's warm just saying it as a joke.
I'm crying. That's funny. Okay, so Rachel then says no. She's like, actually, I was like a no. I'm sorry. Weird. No one ever say that. Every PSA.
Role playing it was weird.
It was weird. Okay, so Rachel says she was a little triggered because like all the guys in the house did go to her 1st. Even Jason had like a little thing for Jess.
That's the thing is now it's taken a beat and she's thinking about it. Yeah, and that's like, what hurts.
Actually, it did kind of hurt, but I like laughed it off with humor. And then she even says like it's hard because a lot of guys can fetishize Asians.
You did not say that word right, but I don't know how to say it.
They have a lot of dudes have a fetish for Asian chicks.
Yes.
Like, it happens. I know a dude that does that. It's fucking weird. But and Sierra gets that because it does happen with a lot of people of color. It has happened to me before, and I'm always like, gross. Yeah, well, they'll be like, ooh, you're Spanish, and they'll be like, now I'm interested, and I'll be like, ooh, gross. It's super weird. It's always a weird feeling, but you always kind of do think like, especially this is gonna sound weird. If they're a different race, you're like, do they just like me because of this race? Like you kind of think about it, And so I get Rachel being like hesitant.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't have to think about that because it doesn't happen, and that's something like that is it's refreshing on reality TV shows to see moments where you get to really learn about other people and other cultures and what happens, and it sucks that this is like a negative learning, but like that's why discussion is so important. Like I wish Jess was sitting here actually having a discussion with her about it, because it's like you think that comment is while it isn't innocent, and we've just discussed that comment like from Jess was not innocent in the version that we just discussed it, but there's also a version of like you don't even know how other people take it. Like there's other factors that go into it, and I really appreciate Rachel like talking about that.
like Jess didn't think about that, and I don't think she meant it that way. But like, I think it does trigger something of like, yeah, when guys approach me first, I do think, is it just because of my race? Is it like, and like, it's a big pornography thing. That's why a lot of dudes have this thing with Asian women. But yeah, it brings up a little, the comments can bring up a little bit of trauma.
More that you don't even know about.
Yeah.
And as the person who says the comment.
I appreciate Paige being like, that's not okay. Like, like, you don't deserve to be spoken to like that. You're gorgeous. And Rachel's gonna have a talk with Jess.
With because the version that Rachel tells us that we didn't get with the like wild line, it has to do with like her being smart, or like like whatever she said of like why guys won't approach, whatever Jess said being is why smart. Guys won't approach Jess or Rachel. That also plays into like another weird stereotype of like just Asians just being smart, and it's like, yeah, weird. Rachel has never been the like, oh, I'm the brainy Asian stereotype. It's like she has always from day one been very open about her like artistic nature and like the beauty of that, and she really has opened up to the house and talked about it. Like they went to that flower mart, and she talks about it a lot in her interviews, which obviously they don't get to see in the moment, but still, there is so much to Rachel, and she has all these cool tattoos. Like you can visually see her artistic expression like on her body. There's so much more to her than people would come up to you and not approach, or like guys wouldn't like you because you're smart. This is where I'm like, though, but we didn't really get that from there. I don't know. I need Rachel and Jess to talk. I'm sad that like Rachel feels this way, because Rachel's been the best to Jess. Agreed. And Jess even knows that. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna cut to the boys and Jess. They're drinking. Austin's gonna try and talk to Sierra, and then Jess took Kory's bracelet just like she took his heart. It's the lines in the interview that really get me, because like Jess's interviews, because it's like, you've sat on this for a few months and you still think this is where we're at. Yeah. Okay, so back to wine day. There's only a few more days left here. Craig started off a little rocky, but he's himself now. And then Amanda says something about like, we love your flaws, and Sierra's like, no, we don't. No, we don't. And these are the digs you can make at friends. Yeah. To their face. I felt that. I was like, I don't love your flaws. Yes. Okay, so he started to understand that Paige is an extension of him, and he wouldn't want to stress her out, which I appreciated. I wish he could just realize like, hey, I think it's good to be a good person. Yeah, no, come on. It's been years. We're at like 11 years with Craig. It's not gonna happen. But you know what? At least something can change him. The self-awareness with Craig is very minimal. Like at least he can be self-aware in his relationship. That makes me feel like he is a better partner, but I just wish he could be a better friend and be nice to people. Better person. Yeah. Rachel's favorite part was riding down Jason's back. And that's when Craig's like, that's super hard. Like, I wouldn't do that. I agree. Jason's amazing. I have never skateboarded or skied in my life, but I can attest that I think this would be hard. I agree. So Paige likes going to bed and waking up with Craig. Cute. And then we cannot figure out Austin, though. Even Craig was shocked. He was like, I don't even know where this dude's coming from. Like, why'd he get mad at Sierra? That's hard when you're like, best guy friend doesn't even understand. Yeah, but Craig thinks like he just can't end it with Sierra. And Sierra's at the point where she doesn't even need a friendship with Austin. She's gone. I think that's best. I don't think they can be friends. Too much has happened. Friends? These two? But even like friendly. I don't think they can be in a winter house or a summer house together. No. I don't think Sierra can go to a dog wedding on Southern Charm. Even. No. Like, I don't think they can socialize at parties. I agree. I think it's kind of like a, hello, we're going to be professional, a BravoCon type thing. And that's it. But like, we're not hanging out. It's just, we're going to pass each other on a golf cart and not say anything. Do you want to get those Korean bowls, Sierra? And she's like, no. That's what we ate at BravoCon. Okay. Yeah, super weird. So next time on the season finale, Kory is super over dating Jess, but she puts it all out there on the line. Oh, this bubble was always going to pop, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. But I'm sorry. You don't talk to Kyle about this shit. Find a woman.
Find
Yes.
a woman.
I, after 2 weeks, would be mortified saying this to a human. After a year of knowing someone, I am terrified of saying, I want to be exclusive.
Yeah, horrible. I'm gonna wait for you to say it to me, and I'll be like, I'll think about it, just so I can get my ducks in a row. Okay, we have a crazy dinner party. Rachel confronts Jess, and then Jason comforts Rachel, and then Austin and Sierra talk, and Sierra's done. So we're really gonna put the bow on this season. I'm excited for it to be over. I think it was a good season, but
I enjoyed it. I would cut
Not
out
over
3
yet.
episodes of the Lindsay Carl timeline drama. That was
not over yet. We will see. Okay, so fun, not fun. Can we agree on not fun, or do you have something different? Mine's Austin.
Mine's Jess. I can't watch this girl. I can't. I hate it so much. I'm just not this person. So I think that's why I dislike her so much. You don't associate with this person internally because I'm so different from her. I think that's where a lot of I know that comment, like the review at the beginning, talked about like my dislike for Jess, and that's where it stems from me. Is I am internally cringing, and not in a good way for me. Like, it's not the normal reality TV cringe. Like, it is painful to watch this stuff.
Not a fun cringe.
Yeah. And so, and then I don't like the twisting of like Jason and Paige are minimizing my relationship. And I'm like, girl, you're not in a relationship.
She's like delusional. She's just like not seeing it all.
Like, I don't like the point A of the relationship stuff. And then I just really don't appreciate how she is constantly twisting anyone like interacting with her into a negative.
I get that.
And then the interviews kill me because that's months later and you're still peddling this.
Yes. Yeah, if I'm gonna go with Austin, because why is he mad? Why is he so mad?
Fuck.
Why is he mad? Why are you mad, Austin?
He wants his cake. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants Sierra to be celibate and waiting for him for when him and for when Austin and Olivia have like a break in a day, and then he can bang her again and then move back to Olivia.
Listen, one of my favorite pastimes is fucking torturing men. If I was in this house, I wouldn't even have to be friends with Sierra. I would have done what Paige did, and I would have done even fucking harder, because my boyfriend's not friends.
Got a boy to come to the house to bang Sierra, so like, Austin can be even more mad.
I'd on his bed. I'd be like, you can watch if you want. I'd be so goddamn fucking mad, especially if this was me. Oh my God, I wouldn't have walked away. I would have schooled your ass to the point that you had to leave the house to get a hotel.
If we know anything from Austin's actions, like let's start believing people's actions and not their words or their potential. All summer on Summer House, Austin dangled between Lindsay and Sierra. And so it's like he wants Olivia and Sierra to have that dynamic. He wants Olivia to be the Sierra and Sierra to be the Lindsay. The every once in a while bang, kiss, flirt with, but you're just sitting there.
Austin, use a piece of shit. That's it. All right, who's fun? I got mine.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna do Paige. I think Paige had a pretty good episode. Yeah. I know she's a little bitchy with Lindsay, but Paige is honestly, she is kind of a mean girl. Like, not to her friends. I think she gets offended if you call her a mean girl and she wasn't being mean to you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If Lindsay's like, you're a mean girl, Paige can be like, I'm a mean girl then. Like, she gonna own it, which 100%. I appreciate. But I think she had a good episode. Her and Craig really like waking up to each other, as much as this relationship is kind of gross to watch. I root for it. I hope that they work out. There's
word on the street that they're broken up, and I don't believe it yet.
I saw that. I sent it to you, and I was like, this is the one conspiracy I am not behind. I fully believe
I don't think there's really any evidence yet.
No,
but you need at least a glimmer of something to prove it.
Remember when they were supposedly dating? I fully buckled down.
But what I'm saying is, like, there were those like pictures of them. Yeah, there's like nothing.
Also, whoever posted that is wrong, because Craig and Paige just went. Craig and Paige, whatever. This fucking couple just went around New York to do all the Christmas stuff. So something's fine. But they really they're doing great. And I appreciate Paige fully going in on Austin.
Yeah.
I think she's a little obsessed with Lindsay, because Lindsay's living rent free in the back of her mind, but Lindsay living in all our minds rent free. So I appreciate. But yeah, her ass and Austin didn't stand a chance. go to bed, never look at us again. This
Agreed.
girl
This
is
is
a
one thing Paige
baddie.
excels in, is
This is
schooling
great.
boys,
Great.
especially Austin Kroll.
I can't wait to rewatch Summer House with her just so I could be like relive some of her best moments because she's great. She will eat you to shreds because she does not get flustered when she's gonna argue with you. She
doesn't stutter like she.
No, it's so good.
That is a reality skill not many have.
Queen.
And mwah, chef's
So
kiss.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm gonna give mine to Rachel. I love watching
nice.
her and Jason. I need
Mhm.
more, like I said, but I understand they're going slow, but like them at the bar, they stayed out of the drama, you know, like all the like Lindsay, Austin gossip was going around, and Jason and Rachel not a part of it.
Yes.
And then I love that like Rachel knows her limits. Like she's like, yeah, we can go ski down. I'll go down once. I will ride on Jason's back, and like I'm ready to have a drink by the fire. Like I'm not doing this shit. She doesn't change herself. She doesn't sit there and like want everybody to stop skiing either. She's very realistic, and I enjoy that. Like she may not enjoy the other activities people are doing. Like she is going wine tasting. She's not going on that bike, but she can provide entertainment and a storyline on the sideline. And I like that.
Love it. 10 out of 10. Okay, so yeah, this was a long episode. So sorry about that.
I
we
have
really
one
went
last
in
comment
on that review.
really quick.
Yeah,
This makes more sense why the Summer House reunion this season of Winter House makes so much sense. Why the Winter House or the Summer House reunion from last season was so awkward because it was filmed after Winter House. Paige could not look at Lindsay and Carl.
Oh, but I didn't think they were. I always thought it was because Lindsay and Carl were like so.
I know. I think more happened
at.
when they get home, but you can see like they are not vibing.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Yeah. Do I need to rewatch Summer House? I'll let you know.
Maybe just the reunion.
I love. But yeah, you're right. Great. I love this show, actually. I'm like,
I'm liking it. It's a nice like buffer in the off season of other shows.
I swear to God, if this fucking aired at the same time as Vanderpump and Summer House, I would fucking kill some Bravo.
Well, it could never as Summer House.
I know, but just imagine.
Even Vanderpump, I like it on its own because then I'm like craving more Summer House, and so this is setting things up. So I'm like, oh, like I need to watch the background. This is like the B-reel. The like B-roll, not B-reel, the B-roll of Summer House to like give just some like, oh, what's been going on since Summer House.
Well, we had fun. This was great
episode.
Leave a 5-star review, please, to
cancel out that one season finale next week. Bye.